Greetings, and welcome to the weekly edition of the Safe Crypto Show. I am your host, Tyler Jordan, with co-hosts Mike and Jason. Each episode attempts to cover a range of topics, beginning with a global market cap review and a look at the past week's movers and shakers. Next, a discussion of general crypto news and happenings. Then we consider new and interesting projects and ICOs, all followed by a brief discussion of the weekly tech update by MaidSafe. Let's get started with the show. Safe Crypto Show disclaimer. Please keep in mind at all times that we, the hosts and guests of the Safe Crypto Show, are not offering or giving investment advice. We only state our personal opinions and thoughts on our own interests. By watching, you agree to not hold us responsible for any losses you may incur by executing trades or by maintaining holds based upon the subjects discussed in our episodes. It is Friday, the 5th of July, 2018. Today I'm joined by my co-host Mike. So let's begin. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining the show today.
And hello, everybody.
So we're going to do a bit of a switch up this week. I'm going to move the MaidSafe update into the number 2 position instead of the after the news. We're going to have it before the news this time. So that'll give it a little more emphasis, I think, which would be good. But as usual, we're going to start with the weekly roundup. Just going to have a quick look at gainers and losers. Not much of note in the gainers that I know of. There's a few I've heard of in there, but not much. On the losers side, though, we got Tezos at number 1, down 62% on the week. That's pretty huge. It's pretty mean considering all the pain Tezos has been through, and they finally get their mainnet launched last week, and then boom, everybody sells. Poor guys. All right, let's go over to the global charts now. Got the 7-day pulled up here. We can see we've had a pretty nice week. Started out at about 246 billion, and we are now ending at around 270.5 billion. So that's a nice little gain. Put that in perspective here.
Nice to see it do a double bottom, so hopefully this will show a turnaround and see some uptrends now that we found the floor twice. So usually that trends up from a charting perspective.
I think I'm just going to pull that to the year scale just for have a quick peek there. We haven't done this in a while. You can see last year at this time, market cap was about 100 billion. So we're doing all right year on year. You know, that's what would that be?
170% rise.
70, yeah, that's huge. So, you know, we can't really complain. We like to complain a bit when it goes into the bear market, but really, ultimately, we're doing pretty well year over year. All right, let's next have a look at Blocktivity. We've got BitShares number 1 this week, Steam number 2, Ethereum number 3, Bitcoin number 4, EOS number 5, Ethereum Classic 6, Golos 7, Doge 8, Litecoin 9, yada yada yada, on and on. Interestingly, the Ethereum this week, we look at the unconfirmed transactions, it's up to almost 41,000. I think historically when we've looked, it's been more around in the 20,000 range. So, not sure what's going on over there at Ethereum, but they're having some serious backlog. I imagine the price of gas is a bit high at the moment. All right, well, our next one then is the MaidSafe update, since we're going right into that now. So this week, the highlights of the week. They've released a new video on proof of resource. Am I going to play that? I'll probably put the clip in later, maybe at the end of the video or something. But yeah, we'll have a look at that a bit later. So let's see, we've introduced the video in a Medium post, and you can find the video on YouTube. Please clap, like, retweet, and share away. It's This is the video. Oh, here it is. Got it over here. It's a proof of resource video. It's only 1 minute 43 seconds long. Again, I'll play that in a bit. Okay, next, the Parsec white paper was submitted to the Crypto Economics Security Conference, where it will receive peer review from some of the big names in our space. Can't wait to receive this feedback. And that'll be great. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Any feedback, positive or negative. Really, negative feedback is really good, because that'll give awareness about what the weak points are, and they'll be able to help fix it up, make it better. Next, crypto changes were finally merged into P2P and Crust, to the main packages, or sets of packages. And that allowed us to move forward and start integrating Safe Crypto and the latest Crust development branch into routing. Marketing. So I'll just go through the first bit here. Marketing June, community digital stats. As ever, we'll start the first update of the new month with a summary of social stats. The community continues to grow steadily in size, and strategies for each platform now under review. So I have this image here of the Safe Network Digital Update. That image isn't coming through very well on the screen here. I might add that in later when I do the video editing and cut it in there so you can get a better view of that. But yeah, you can see the Alpha 2 invites. So how many people are joining the Alpha 2 network and checking it out. And they got Safe Forum all-time users, 1% increase since May. Safe Development Forum, a 3.6% increase since May. So, constant, steady increase in activity. This is good. Twitter engagements increasing. YouTube engagements increasing. Yeah, it's very interesting. So the proof of resource video that they've put out this week, it says, you may remember we received extra money during the CEP process back in January, and the decision was made that we'd ask Hypercube to work with us on producing 2 introductory videos. The first on SafeCoin was released at the Safe DevCon 18 back in April, and now we're delighted to release the second, this time on proof of resource. We've introduced the video in a Medium post, and you can find the video on YouTube. Please clap, like, retweet, and share away. The other key areas of focus this week have been the website, so close, in brackets, and a range of work that relates to the next Parsec milestone, all of which will become much clearer in the very near future. Skip over the bit on the website, but it's a bit of humor and sarcasm there. But apparently they're really close to having it out, so that'll be exciting when that gets launched. And the next bit, Safe Browser Authenticator and API. They talk about how that's going along, and then they've got a section on Safe Client Libraries this week, and routing, and Crust. So a lot of details in there. Please, as always, go to check out the show notes and follow the link and go read the update if you're interested in the details. But there's always so much activity happening here, and so much coding going on. It's amazing. I reckon that at some point in the future, when MaidSafe gets launched, it's going to be one of the biggest projects around. Honestly, I'm not joking. I reckon it will be someday. Okay, with that, let's get into the news segment. We've got our own bit of comedy here, starting with the Zero Hedge article. BIS chief. Now that's the Bank of International Settlements. It's over in Switzerland. The BIS chief bashes cryptos and demands that young people, quote, stop trying to create your own money, end quote. The head of the Bank for International Settlements continued the institution's critical stance on cryptocurrency, saying it, quote, cannot assume the functions of money, end quote. There's the BIS chief there. It's I guess a cartoon of his picture. It's, well, if he was in crypto, he'd be a whale, I guess. Speaking to Swiss newspaper Basler Zeitung last week, subsequently published by BIS itself, the general manager, Augustin Karstens, what a name, cautioned, quote, young people, end quote, against, quote, trying to create money, end quote, drawing comparisons to Bitcoin mining. Glance back into the past, and you will see that creating gold or money from nothing has been a regular obsession. It never worked. Even the great physicist Isaac Newton was at one point in his life obsessed by alchemy and the idea of making gold. He was very successful in a number of fields, but in this one he failed. Newton ended up as head of the British Mint. Why? Because he could detect at once if a coin was counterfeit. After he failed in his attempt to make gold, he switched sides and sent counterfeiters to prison. So my message to young people would be, stop trying to create money. I'm not going to read this whole article, but yeah, if you want a bit of humor, it is. I mean, it's just unbelievable that they just take us for complete idiots, I guess. I don't know.
Please stop making additional money that takes away our monopoly. We like our monopoly. It's profitable. That's what he would be thinking if he is not absolutely directly saying it with his "don't make any other monies." You know,
and
to which the community should be, no, we're destroying your whole paradigm. Go away. We're ignoring you.
Yeah. Andreas Antonopoulos, a longtime Bitcoin advocate, replied on Twitter to this news, quote, "Keep writing FUD like this. In the attempt to discredit cryptocurrencies, you are only discrediting yourself." Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, if they were pointing out some real flaws, well, fair enough. But they're not. They're not pointing out any flaws. They're just talking complete FUD. It's just complete nonsense. They're not making any sense at all. Just trying to set a narrative and a story and trying to sound rational, but they're not making any sense whatsoever. Anyway, that's all they got, isn't it, in their ammunition cabinet? All right. Our next article, kind of in contrast to what the BIS is saying, and other bankers, really, who are kind of rejecting crypto, some of them anyway. President of Uzbekistan signs decree on blockchain integration and tax exclusions for crypto. It might be time to move to Uzbekistan. President of Uzbekistan has signed a decree on the development and integration of blockchain technology, crypto assets, and crypto mining, with the goal of modernizing the state administration system and advancing digital economics in the country. President Shavkat Mirziyoyev signed a decree, quote, on measures for digital economics development in the Republic of Uzbekistan on July 3rd. The document describes blockchain, artificial intelligence, AI, supercomputers, and crypto-related activities as key development trends of digital economics globally. The decree calls for the creation of conditions to introduce, quote, digital economics in Uzbekistan. According to the decree, the Government Office for Project Management and Ministry for Development of Information Technologies and Communications are designated to design and implement a program on blockchain development from 2018 to 2020. Starting January 1st, 2021, blockchain reportedly will be integrated into the operation of governmental agencies for the purpose of verifying and identifying information in systems of corporate management and in clearing transactions. I'm not going to go on with this, but you get the idea. They're getting serious about it. I think that's interesting. There's many of these kind of articles coming out now, really, over the past few months, and I think it's kind of telling about what's going on. On the one hand, you see banks, a lot of bankers kind of rejecting crypto and trying to block its use, and it's just not working out for some. There's enough competition out there, I guess, between states that you're seeing them vying really for some of this crypto capital to come into their ecosystem. So that's good. Our next article is similar. We have here Bermuda to create a new class of bank for serving fintech and blockchain companies. The government of Bermuda has announced plans to make amendments to the Banking Act in order to establish a new class of bank to render services to local fintech and blockchain organizations. Since local banks have reportedly declined to provide banking services to the new type of companies, being concerned about regulatory issues and potential risks, the government of the island has consulted with them to develop an update to the Banking Act. Upon introducing the bill in Parliament, Bermudian Premier and Minister of Finance David Burt said that the bank's stance cannot be allowed to frustrate the delivery on our promise of economic growth and success for the Bermudians. Sorry if some of that noise is coming through. There's some vacuuming going on in the house, apparently. Frustrating. Okay, our next article. Local media: floods in China heavily damaged major crypto mining operation. Recent floods in the Sichuan province of China have reportedly resulted in heavy damage to a major cryptocurrency mining operation in the area. The news was published on a local blockchain and crypto information platform, Golden Finance. ECNS, the official English language outlet of the China News Service, has reported that Sichuan and 4 other provinces in China experienced heavy rains on June 27th and 28th, resulting in floods. Golden Finance claims that a major cryptocurrency mining operation in Sichuan, am I saying that right? Sichuan has been heavily affected, leading to the loss of tens of thousands of mining devices. The miners seem almost impossible to repair, according to the site. As of press time, it remains unclear what cryptocurrencies were being mined on the devices and how many of them precisely have been lost to the flood. There's a photo there of all the mud-caked miners. Looks like most of them are total loss, if that picture is accurate. To me, what was interesting about this, I mean, it's obviously bad for the particular mining operation, and it's pretty sad that that's all happening. But to me, this begs the question. I've got a little note here I put on the side. Begs the question, what if a truly evil actor was willing and able to use violence to take out multiple large Bitcoin mining operations simultaneously, while having their own large operation perform the dreaded 51% attack? That's kind of the problem with these kind of semi-decentralized things. I mean, we won't have that problem with MaidSafe because it'll be, the Safe network being created by MaidSafe, because it's going to be so much more decentralized. Just about everybody's going to be farming to some extent. So, but for things like Bitcoin, that it's become very centralized with all the powerful ASICs now needed to actual mine. It become quite centralized. And because of the electricity rates being so much cheaper in one area over the other, a lot of that power has consolidated into small geographic locations, like the one in the picture here. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a big concern and a potential threat for Bitcoin and its like down the road. And something I've kind of been concerned about that problem for a while. Anyway, this article gave me an opportunity to express that thought, so there it is. Our next article, PwC, that's a consulting firm, PwC, report finds that 2018 ICO volume is already double that of the previous year. According to a joint report from consulting firm PwC and the Swiss Crypto Valley Association, initial coin offerings are booming despite the price collapse of cryptocurrencies. Cointelegraph auf Deutsch reports on June 29th, PwC found that ICO volume reached new record highs in the first half of 2018. Per the report, between January and May 2018 alone, ICO volume is already twice as much as it was during the entire year of 2017. PwC Switzerland writes in an accompanying press release, quote, in total, 537 ICOs with a total volume of more than 13.7 billion have been registered since the beginning of the year. In comparison, in 2017, there were a total of 552 ICOs with a volume of just over 7 billion. Also, the average size of an ICO has almost doubled, from 12.8 million to over 25.5 million since last year. Special mention is made of the ICOs of Telegram and EOS, which reached into the billions. Telegram raised 1.7 billion through its ICO, while EOS raised over twice as much at 4.1 billion. According to the ICO report, the US, Singapore, and Switzerland are now the 3 most important ICO hubs worldwide, largely due to progress in regulation. Switzerland, in particular, benefits from the crypto valley of Zug, with its consistent focus on blockchain and fintech startups. Smaller countries and city-states such as Hong Kong, Gibraltar, Malta, and Liechtenstein have seen some success, having copied the crypto-friendly models of Singapore and Switzerland. Regarding regulation, the authors identified 3 different approaches that are currently being implemented worldwide. Quote, the U.S. uses a centralized system in which all tokens offered by ICO are traded as securities. In Europe, on the other hand, differentiated regulation prevails. FINMA, for example, classifies tokens into 3 subtypes: asset, payment, and utility tokens, which do not constitute an actual investment, but allow the buyer direct access to the product or service of the ICO. Finally, in Asia, regulation is very heterogeneous, ranging from strict prohibition to active promotion of ICO projects. Regulators and traditional financial institutions remain skeptical of ICOs and have criticized their lack of oversight in certain jurisdictions. NASDAQ CEO Adena Friedman recently claimed that ICOs pose serious risks to retail investors due to regulatory shortcomings. Earlier this month, SEC Chairman Jay Clayton reiterated the agency's position that ICOs are securities and should be regulated as such. Well, they don't like competition, do they? So that's a very interesting report. We can see that things are really growing quite well, despite the bear market that we've had recently. I think the bear market is more representative of the fact that we were in a bit of a bubble since the December-January gains, and we've still been trying to find out where the base is again. And maybe we found it now, I hope, and hopefully we'll be back onto a nice, slow upwards trend again. Our last article for the week, former Jefferies Asia CEO to lead $1 billion EOS VC arm. So this is another one of those stories where we see people from the mainstream financial sector leaving and coming into the crypto sector, and of course bringing ultimately all their contacts of the mainstream financial sector with them, which is going to continue to erode at the power of the mainstream financial system and bring it into the crypto sphere. So on with the story here. Former Jefferies Asia CEO, that's the company Jefferies Group LLC. So former CEO in Asia for Jefferies Group LLC, a major global investment banking firm, has joined as head of EOS's $1 billion venture capital arm, effective Thursday, July 5th. The news has been revealed in an official announcement from EOS creator Block One. After serving almost 8 years in his former post, Michael Alexander will be based in Hong Kong and serve as a member of the Block One Executive Committee. As the new CEO of EOS's VC unit, Alexander will manage both direct venture investments and EOS VC partnerships with a focus on sourcing and investing in projects that build on the EOS.io ecosystem. Block One has major plans to invest over $1 billion in EOS.io ecosystem projects through its venture arm and has already allocated approximately $700 million through VC partnerships in the United States, Europe, and Asia, according to today's statement. These notably include a partnership for a $325 million EOS.io ecosystem fund with Mike Novogratz's cryptocurrency merchant bank Galaxy Digital LP, as well as a $50 million secured in funding from blockchain investment firm SVK Crypto. Alexander is quoted in today's statement as saying he believes that, quote, Block One is shaping the next generation of technology and the Internet. The vision of its founders has resulted in it being one of the fastest growing organizations in the world. The company's unique position as the publisher of the EOS.io open source code means that it is poised to lead the way in investments related to the burgeoning platform, end quote. Alexander joins Rob Jasudison, the former chief financial officer of Australia's Commonwealth Bank, who left the bank to work for Block One back in May. EOS is both a cryptocurrency token and a blockchain-powered operating system for decentralized applications. As of press time, it is ranked fifth largest cryptocurrency worldwide with a market cap of around $8 billion. As a governed network, the project has recently faced a series of high-profile controversies over account freezings and RAM network speculation, both of which have thrown into relief the project's difficulties with arbitration matters. Well, again, yeah, they're having some problems, but they just launched really a month ago now, and you've got to give them a few months, I think, to sort out. It's a really complex bag of code, EOS, more so than Ethereum was, and Ethereum had difficulties when it launched too. I don't think it's a big deal at this point. If these kind of problems are still happening in 6 months, then I think that would be something to really look at. But this, to me, I don't know, there's a lot of FUD around this, so I'm not going to go on. Ongoing disputes over governance prompted Block One CTO Dan Larimer last week to go so far as to suggest rehauling the project's entire constitution. Yeah, I'm not sure what the status of that is. Maybe we'll do a report on that next week. I'll have to look into that. Well, so that's all we got. I guess I will, I'm going to tack on the video, I think, on the end, the MaidSafe's new video, and we'll have a look at that, but I'll do that post-processing. Have any last thoughts, Mike?
I think that's pretty interesting set of news this week. The BIS statement I thought was quite comical in nature. But after seeing a week of turnaround prices and stuff on our global market cap, that's pretty good news for the week all told, I think.
Yeah, we know the bankers are scared, so we anticipate over the coming year quite a bit more FUD from them, especially when there's positive weeks happening.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, well, that's all we have for today. I'd like to thank both our viewers and my co-hosts for joining me. We hope you found the episode informative and helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share our video with others. And smash the bell button. Tune in next week for another interesting episode.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Decentralized computer networks are creating massive changes in society, from finance to government to how we communicate with each other. Decentralization can offer greater security, as transactions only take place if the majority of nodes agree the transactions are legitimate. As an example, Bitcoin uses a process called proof of work to validate transactions by solving mathematical problems. It's a solid way to ensure security, but it uses tremendous amounts of energy and results in a slow network during times of high demand. The SAFE network is a platform which allows secure and decentralized applications to be built for communications, website development, data storage, and more. To make the network fast, we've devised our own way for nodes to reach consensus. In Proof of Resource, every node is continually ranked by the network according to how good it is at storing and retrieving chunks of data. The network measures CPU speed, bandwidth, online time, and disk space, and automatically rewards nodes with SafeCoin according to the quantity and quality of the resource that they provide. Proof of Resource can be verified immediately, making the network much faster than energy-burning methods, such as Proof of Work. The network never needs to know what data is being stored. It simply verifies that the data is held correctly. And reliability is built in, as people can earn bigger rewards for providing more reliable resources to the network. The SAFE Network, the world's first autonomous data network. Join our growing community today.